What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about a story that went very viral in regards to Houston Rockets player Christian Wood. Now, he has had a very long journey to where he is today. Here's a guy who, at the age of 19, decided to leave college after his sophomore year to be in the NBA, only to go undrafted, and only to have his girlfriend dump him that very same night. And I'm going to read this article from the NY Post, but there are many other ones. The main article is from The Ringer. I'll put a link to The Ringer in the description so y'all can go and check out the full article that details a lot of the goings on with Christian Wood. But in this article I'm reading, there's a photo, and the photo will be here in the video, of him being just broken, or almost broken, not quite broken, but he was very, very deeply hurt by how far he fell to not getting drafted at all. And for him, for 5 years, to work his way up to where he is today, just shows you how resilient of a guy Christian Wood is. Now, according to this article, 5 years ago, Christian Wood's life forever changed, just not in the way he expected. The then 19-year-old sophomore out of UNLV, Wood anticipated hearing his name announced during the 2015 NBA draft and later celebrating with loved ones at Caesar's Palace. All did not go according to Wood's plan, but both personally and professionally. I lost my girlfriend that night too, Wood said in an interview with The Ringer. I dropped her off at the airport after the draft and never saw her again. That's sad. And what's really interesting is that he still ended up being in the NBA. He just wasn't a first round pick. He wasn't even a second round pick. But he still got an opportunity to play. This female was so impatient. She really thought he was going to get drafted high. They were going to go party. He was going to buy her expensive jewelry and clothes and a car, take her on an expensive vacation. That's what she was looking at. Being able to post on her IG that, she's with this particular athlete. But none of that came to fruition. So instead of her sticking it out with him, she decided to leave him. And I think it had a lot to do with the fact that she probably was dealing with other guys at the time. I honestly believe that Christian Wood was one of a few guys that she was dealing with. Because usually these type of females are dealing with multiple males. They're dealing with multiple men. This female obviously wasn't just dealing with him. For her to get dropped off at the airport, and for him to say he never saw her again, just shows you that she was only there for what she thought he was going to have. And it probably had a lot to do with his mentality, because if you look at the fact that his mother wanted him to go back to school, his mother wanted him to get his degree, he went against it. He was dead set on going to the NBA. And because he was dead set on going to the NBA, he went after his sophomore year. And I believe the female he was with thought, listening to him, that he would be a high NBA draft pick. And that never came to fruition. All right. Expected to be a late first round pick, Wood stock tumbled amid chatter about his work ethic. Well, that's not good. He eventually joined the Houston Rockets for the Summer League in 2015 before signing with the Philadelphia 76ers in September. In the year that followed, Wood became an NBA journeyman and even signed with the Chinese Basketball Association in 2017. He later was waived by the Fuwan Sturgeons. To get cut from a team in China because they tell me I wasn't good enough. That really tested me. That wasn't good enough. Really tested me. All right. That was the breaking point, Wood said. Wood, now 25, has since evolved into a rising star after bouncing around and playing limited minutes for the Hornets, Pelicans, and Bucks. Wood eked out a role with the Pistons last season. Wood averaged 13 points and 6.3 rebounds in 62 games for the Detroit Pistons. That's an improvement. Then this offseason, he signed a 3-year, $41 million contract with the Houston Rockets. And in 2 games, he is averaging 27 points and 8 rebounds. I still haven't reached my goal. I want to be an all-star. I feel like I can be one of the top players in the league. You talk about improving. You talk about getting to a point to where you feel like all the hard work and disappointment has paid off. And that's why I say this. Sometimes the biggest motivations are not only trying to prove people wrong, but trying to gain happiness. I think Christian Wood wanted to forget that night forever. And the best way he could do it is by going out there and putting in the work. Because the one thing that teams questioned on draft night was his work ethic. His work ethic was his undoing as far as, getting drafted high, which we all know that sometimes teams will overlook certain things if you're considered more talented than others, because we've seen players get drafted high and they don't last very long. They really don't. So through all the disappointment, the getting dumped on draft night, to playing in China, to going to be an NBA journeyman, I think he knew that it was there for him. An opportunity was there for him. All he had to do was continue to fight. And that's exactly what he did. He showed resilience that really has helped elevate him to get him where he needs to be. And I think that this could be something that a lot of young men can look at and really aspire to. Because I feel that today, for some reason, there are young males out here who really don't want to put the work in. It did take a lot for Christian Wood to flip that switch, but he wanted it. He wanted to be in the NBA, and he wanted to stay there. He didn't want to go play overseas. He didn't want to have to think about what could have been. He put all of his, eggs into this basket, and it paid off. Now, I will say this though about the female. Again, I believe this particular female was dealing with other guys, and those guys either got drafted that night, which I think happened, or they were in other maybe professions, who knows. And that's why you have to be very careful the type of women you bring into your energy, because there are women who will be with you for the wrong reasons, and we see it all the time. These guys get with women who are with them for the wrong reasons, and it seemed like this particular female was with him for the wrong reasons. And I will say this though, it was better that he found out that she wasn't there for him that night than, a couple of years later, he done signed his contract, he done had a baby by her, and then all of a sudden she ain't wanting to do with him. She's going after his money. And I'm pretty sure that female is, whoever she is, she's looking at this like a very missed opportunity. But that's what happens when you make the wrong choices and you're only dealing with somebody because of what you can gain out of them instead of you actually caring about them. But this is a story of resilience, and it's good to see that he was able to answer all the doubters and bring some semblance of happiness into his life,